Hello, I'm Antonio Mora. This is the newsandnews.com Day in Brief. Today's top stories in 4 minutes. It's Wednesday, November 28th at about 6:30 p.m. The head of the Federal Reserve, Jerome Powell, caused a Wall Street earthquake by saying that interest rates are just below the level where they won't stimulate the economy. That's very different than what he said just last month, and it was construed as signaling there would be fewer interest rate hikes in the future. That's manna from heaven for the equity markets. The Dow had its biggest rally in 8 months, jumping by more than 600 points, 2.5%. The S&P 500 was up 2.3%, and the Nasdaq just under 3%. Investors are clearly thinking only one more rate hike is coming. This comes after President Trump repeatedly criticized the man he named as the head of the U.S. Central Bank for raising rates too quickly. Trump wasn't happy that the higher rates were cooling the economy and the housing market, while, until this week, erasing all gains in stocks for the year. Now, many analysts are questioning whether Trump got into Powell's head and influenced his comments, a departure from the Fed's traditional independence. Meanwhile, I know I should not continue to be amazed at how Trump continues to make trouble for himself by opening his mouth or tweeting, but I still am. Today, he said a pardon for Paul Manafort is still on the table. His opponents are already calling the statement obstruction of justice, especially because the statement follows the accusations from Special Counsel Mueller's team that Manafort lied to them in violation of his plea agreement. Trump could just have said no comment, as he has before, and as his legal team has reportedly advised him to do. The reality is that Trump has the power to pardon Manafort whenever he wants, so there was no need to roil the waters by stating the obvious and creating an appearance of impropriety. He also suggested, without providing any evidence, that Mueller is bullying witnesses and encouraging them to lie so they'll get relief. And he retweeted a meme showing Barack Obama, the Clintons, and other political opponents behind bars under a banner that says, "Now that Russia collusion is a proven lie, when do the trials for treason begin?" Aside from the fact that nothing has yet been proven about Russia collusion, for a president of the United States to accuse his predecessors of treason is outrageous. It's childish behavior. He also included his own Deputy Attorney General, Rod Rosenstein, further evidence of Trump's inability to control himself. Think about it this way. If Rosenstein is guilty of treason, then doesn't that reflect terribly on Trump himself, that he's keeping Rosenstein in a highly sensitive position and allowing him into the Oval Office and Air Force One? Logic be damned. CNN is reporting that Trump told Special Counsel Robert Mueller in writing that Roger Stone did not tell him about WikiLeaks. He also reportedly said he was not told about the infamous 2016 Trump Tower meeting with a Russian lawyer who had promised dirt on Hillary Clinton. Also today, the Secretaries of State and Defense testified on Capitol Hill defending the Saudis. They said there was no direct evidence connecting the Saudi crown prince to the murder of journalist Jamal Khashoggi. And they argued that U.S. involvement in the war in Yemen must continue because it would be a lot worse for the U.S. if the U.S. were not involved. In our alternate universes segment, The Great Divide Between Conservative and Liberal Media, I will let former President Obama write this for me today, in part because he's echoing the message that I keep trying to hammer home here. He said late Tuesday that our media environment no longer allows Americans to agree on a common set of facts, adding that Fox News viewers and New York Times readers live in an entirely different reality from each other. He said that, quote, in 1981, your news cycle was still governed by the stories that were going to be filed by the AP, Washington Post, maybe the New York Times, and the 3 broadcast stations. He went on to say that, quote, whether people got their news from Walter Cronkite or David Brinkley, they tended to agree on a common set of facts. That set a baseline around which both parties had to adapt and respond to. When Kellyanne Conway got roundly criticized for her alternative facts comment, she was trying to say in less articulate fashion what Obama is saying. If we can't agree on the facts, when there's even video evidence, how can we agree on anything? And the media's polarization deserves much of the blame. A Politico Morning Consult poll we reported on a couple of weeks ago showed that 64% of respondents said the media has done more to divide the country than unite it. Fewer, 56%, said Trump has done more to divide the country. It's time to wake up, guys. We have all those stories and much more updated around the clock, 7 days a week on newsandnews.com, where you will find all you need to know in one place. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel by clicking on the right of your screen just below this video. Please follow us on Facebook at Real News and News, and follow me on Twitter at AMoraTV. I'll see you again tomorrow.